If you've been on social media at all in the last couple of years, there's a good chance you've seen VAER watches. They are, at least from what I can tell, leading the way in terms of making affordable, high quality, and creative watches that in many cases are made right here in the US of A. And today I have the pleasure of showing off the VAER D5 Special Forces Automatic Dive Watch, which does happen to be one of the watches that's made in America, which is really cool. And you can see that proudly displayed in a balanced manner, American assembled, right at the bottom, flanking the applied indice at the 6 o'clock position. This watch was a collaboration between VAER and Huckberry, the large online men's retailer. And I say was a collaboration because as of the filming of this video, all 50 pieces, that's right, only 50 pieces were made, all 50 are sold out. So the one that I have here in this video, thankfully, if you like this watch, will be going back to Huckberry. It'll be getting restocked, just like with the Timex video I did last week, if you happen to check that out. I'm trying to be as careful as I can with this. I'm not even putting it on wrist, so that way it's truly unworn. So if you do like this watch, it will be going back. Head to Huckberry's website. I'll leave a link in the description. You can sign up for the restock notification and have a chance to snag it and have a 1 in 50 piece that's, pretty cool in my opinion. Today we're going to talk about the specs of the watch, of course. I'm going to talk a little bit about the design and what I like or don't like about the watch. And then at the very end of the video, I will tack on the unboxing experience so you can see what it looks like right when it's opened up and see what comes in the box. So if you're interested in all that, please stick around. I'm Patrick, and this is Rocky Mountain Style. So the VAER D5 Special Forces Automatic Dive Watch comes in at $599, which is pretty cool that it's the same price as the normal D5 that you see on VAER's website that's available any day of the week. So the fact that it's a special collaboration and has an extra strap, things like that, it's cool that it doesn't really cost any extra. So with all that said, let's get into the specs. The VAER D5 Special Forces Auto is 39 millimeters in diameter and has a thickness of about 13.3 millimeters to the top of the double-domed and internally AR-coated sapphire crystal. The lug-to-lug is 45.9 millimeters, and the lug width, of course, is a strap-friendly 20 millimeters. The D5 does come with a rating for 200 meters of water resistance, helped in part, of course, by a screw-down crown. And within the 316L stainless steel case beats a Miyota 9015 movement with 40 hours of power reserve. The movement oscillates at 4 Hertz, giving that smooth 8 ticks per second that most of us like for our watches. Miyota claims a -10 to +30 second per day accuracy on their website for this particular movement, but during the American assembly, VAER performed some regulation work, bringing that accuracy up to a -5 to +15 second per day clip. Now that's not bad at all and much better than most automatic watches in that sub-$1,000 price range. Nice accuracy for $599. Talking about design, the first thing to notice, of course, is the color. This bright blue dial and ceramic bezel is really striking in person. It can be deep if it's in the shadows, and it can be really bright if the light's catching it in the right way. So I like the fact that it is the same shade of blue on the bezel and the dial, and it really is just a striking look. So I think it's a nice color choice for a collaboration like this. And speaking about the bezel, it has a 12-hour bezel instead of a normal 60-minute dive time bezel that you'll see with most dive watches. And VAER and Huckberry on their website claim that this is inspired by 1970s military dive watches. And of course, Special Forces is in the name. So I think it's probably safe to assume that back in the 70s, these watches that inspired this watch probably used a 12-hour bezel for, mission coordination, timing, things like that. Perhaps the military realized that that was actually more useful than a 60-minute timer. This also comes with 2 straps. It comes with the FKM rubber Tropic strap, which I've never owned a Tropic strap before. I think this one actually looks and feels pretty good, so I think I'm going to go and buy a Tropic strap and maybe start wearing one just so I can have that experience and speak a little more authoritatively in the future. But I do like how there are perforations in the strap, so that way you're going to get a nice breathable, wearing feature. So that's not a bad thing. And the second strap, of course, is a single pass NATO. I'm not sure if you can be a single pass NATO or if it has to be that double pass structure to be a NATO. Anyways, I digress. But yeah, it comes with that. They call it tan. Looks olive to me, dusky olive, light green, whatever you want to call it. But the inclusion of the second strap is a very nice thing. And speaking of the straps, the buckles are VAER signed. They're not Huckberry signed. As far as I could tell looking, there's no Huckberry logo or Huckberry branding at all on this watch, which I think for this specific type of collaboration, when it's influenced by something from earlier in history, the 1970s military sector perhaps, I think that was a good choice not to put any Huckberry branding on this, even though it was a Huckberry collab. So good job with the holding back on that one for sure. I think that was the right call. And the last thing I want to call out in the design sector is the case. So in my experience, many of the watches I've owned, whether it be Seiko's or Hamilton's or even VAER's, I have a VAER C5 quartz watch, American assembled, even that one, the cases are all very simple. And I'm not even talking about the finishing, I'm just talking about the shape. They just look like they were, you know, stamped out of, you know, a billet or something, or milled, whatever they happen to be. And there's really not much thought to the actual shape and the way the light plays on the watch. So thankfully for this D5, I'm happy to say that that's not the case. I think the shape of the case is really interesting. It catches the light in neat ways and really adds to the watch. I think the relative thinness of the mid case in regards to its 13 millimeter thickness makes the watch look visually a little bit thinner than the 13 mil thickness would indicate. So good job on the case. I'm glad to see VAER doing that at this $599 price point. And speaking of that price point once more, you've got 9 series Miyota movement instead of an 8 series. You've got, of course, your sapphire crystals front and back. You've got a ceramic bezel insert. You've got a special edition watch that is limited to 50 pieces. It comes with 2 straps. It's well made by a company that seems to be going in the right direction, and all of that without even mentioning the fact that it's assembled in America. So if that's something that you like and enjoy, I think $599 for a watch like this is actually a pretty screaming deal. So with all that said, we'll go ahead and end here. Thank you very much for spending your time with me today. If you have any questions, please leave them below. If you're interested in seeing the unboxing portion, that's why there's still a bunch of time left on the bar here. So go ahead and watch the unboxing portion. Thanks. Have a wonderful day. All right. Welcome to the unboxing portion. So this is the second time that I have unboxed a VAER watch. And so this very thin, wide box is, I don't know if it's the exact same, but this seems to be the way that they package their stuff. So we will check everything out. All right. So you've got a card here. Certificate of assembly. Cool, that's cool. Talking about the water resistance and the American assembly. Pretty cool. Signature of American Assembly Tech. No idea who that is, but if you're watching this and that's you, thank you very much. All right, so that's cool there. All right, so we got 2 boxes here. One of these will be the extra strap and the other will be the watch itself. Okay, so here we go. This is our single pass, call it NATO strap, VAER signed buckle. They call it tan on the website, but this is much more green than tan, as I think you can probably see. Nylon strap. You've got some, looks like 4 extra spring bars there. There'll be 20 mil spring bars. You've got a spring bar tool, which is a nice touch, in a nice box. So when you're not using it, you can store all your stuff. Pretty cool. So I guess, yeah, we'll leave that open so we don't have to open it again later. There we go. We'll build our scene out here. And then, of course, here we have the watch. Okay, we kind something under there. And you've got a nice pull tab just to help get things going. So this is, if we can get that out. Kind of hard to work with these gloves on, right? Get started with your VAER watch. Our priority as founders is to deliver the highest product value at the lowest possible price. We use digital product manuals to provide a greater range of information and limit our environmental impact. All right, I think that's reasonable. QR code to get your manual. Help us spread the word. Ryan Torres and Reagan Cook. Cool. All right. And 2 minutes and 20 seconds in, finally the part you probably wanted to see. All right. So it does come on the FKM Tropic strap. You can see my windows in the reflection there. Not much to be done about that. Still though pretty cool. Got beaten away on the 6th. Today is the 20th. You can see those applied indices. Really big fan of applied indices, which is pretty standard in this price range that we're operating in. Ceramic bezel. You can kind of see the sheen off the ceramic bezel there. 12 hours for this Special Forces D5 model. 660 feet, 200 meters, automatic. And of course, right there at the bottom, if I can quit hitting the boom here, American Assembly. All right, good stuff. All right, let's get it out and get some measurements and things like that. Cool looking watch. All right, so we've got this here. We're going to turn it on. We have the tape, of course, on the calipers. So we're zeroed with the tape included. So we'll have accurate measures here. All right, let's go. Okay, so this is supposed to be 39 millimeters. No idea if the bezel adds or if it's, so we'll go 4 to 10. 39 and a half. 39.2. So yeah, right at 39 millimeters, there's a chance that the bezel overhangs. Yeah, and it looked like it might. The bezel might slightly overhang the edges of the case. But yeah, we'll call it close enough to 39 to say that's truthful. All right, so let's check out the crystal, how far so it does. The crystal bumps up above. So we'll see what this measure is. So this includes the crystal, of course. It looks like about 13.2. That actually surprises me a little bit. It does not look that thick. It looks thinner, but I think that's because of the design of the mid case here. The screw-in display case back. It sticks out of the bottom there, but because of the way the lugs turn down, very Seiko Turtle-esque, I would say. You've got a nice high polish edge there in between the mid case and the top of the lugs, which you see there. A nice little sort of chamfer. I really am a big fan of this case design. I think a lot of watches, especially in this price range and especially from, you know, micro brands, the cases leave a lot to be desired. And I think this is a good one. It goes really well with the coin edging on the outside of the bezel. And yeah, just it has some interest, and you can see here just moving it around. It does play with the light pretty well. Yeah, you can be the judge for yourself, but I like it. I think it's really cool. VAER signed crown, of course. There you go. All right, so we've got a little over 13 to the top of that crystal. So the case to the bezel itself is probably more like 12.5 or 12.4 or something. And then let's check the lug to lug. I'm expecting this to be a pretty good measure just from the glance of it. Yeah, 45.3. That's going to wear really nice. True to size at 39 or maybe even a little smaller. So and I mentioned before, the Seiko Turtle-esque case is something that makes a 42 or 43 millimeter Seiko wear okay on most people's wrists. So this probably actually is going to wear more like a 38 or something. So if we just put it up here, yeah, you can see there. My wrist is one that's, and I'll get some better shots. You've probably already seen them in the video. My wrist is one that easily fits, 40, 41 millimeters, even sometimes 42. And yeah, this is easily on there. You can see the lugs, plenty of room left overlapping. But yeah, very nice length. And then 20 millimeters in between, don't have to measure that. It's right there on the FKM strap, which is pretty cool. It looks pretty high quality. I've never owned a Tropic strap, so I can't give too much knowledge on them. But for a dive watch like this, I think it's a cool look. Adds a little uniqueness if you're going to have it on a strap. But yeah, you've got holes in there for breathability, which is a nice touch. And all right, so there's our Seiko. Sorry, I keep saying Seiko. There's our Miyota 9015 beating away. You've got a little bit of detailing there in the movement. This is, of course, a much nicer movement than the Miyota 8 series. This is regulated, as I said, down to -5 +15 a day, which in the non-chronometer section and under $1,000, that's actually really nice. The rotor, of course, is VAER custom. You can see the sort of diamond abrasive, diamond tungsten looking edge of the rotor there, which moves nicely. I think that's pretty much the unboxing, guys. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch through this. And again, as I've mentioned more than once in this full video, I'm sure this watch will be going back to Huckberry. I don't know, unless I unless I change my mind. Who knows? But yeah, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments and let me know. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.